the big band used to play.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Taking you back to the 70s on 98.3 The Life.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Exactly. Well, it's Tuesday, and it's 6 p.m., and it's 98.3 FM The Life Improv Leadership Special Show tonight. Bob Slipke and Ted Schneider on the Improv Leadership Show. Again, 98.3 FM every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. all those last 2 weeks. Work, and my throat was killing me a couple weeks ago, but I'm back. And as always, on the Improv Leadership Show, we always do a shout out to our local loyal listeners. Alec, thank you very, very much for listening. My older son, Zach, thank you for listening as well. Brianna, you got to be home one of these days. You got to do dinner. Of course, we have the Burbank group. We have Kathleen, Randy, Jim, Debbie, and John, and others. We've got my RHS stepbrothers, Tony and Bob, and of course, Sam right down the street, who's actually a local loyal listener. Sam, thank you very, very much for listening. And of course, Denise, my girlfriend, who's probably playing pickleball tonight, and it's kind of warm out there. Hope you're okay. Improv Leadership, Ted Schneider, Bob Slipke.
All right.
And at 7 o'clock, what are we going to do at 7 o'clock, Bob?
Well, I'm on a radio show here, so I thought maybe we'd talk about a few things.
All right. Well, we always, these are our retro shows. Bob and I were together. How many years were we together, Bob? Remember?
Oh, my God. Well, are we talking about the improv? No, let's see. It was the improv training back in the 90s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you went through that.
I was there in 1979, 1980.
All right. So the Players Workshop, Second City down there on, I think it was Lincoln Avenue, right?
Actually, I did it at the 1616 North Wells, as well as on someplace on Halstead.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Anyway, what's on 7 o'clock, Bob? Your show, right? What's it called again?
Let's see here. Info Explorers.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. But this is a retro show. Bob and I are going to do 2 hours tonight. So we're going to start off with the very timely article, 8 tips how to survive a riot. I mean, there's been some protests, some riots, a lot of issues. And again,
but they've all been calm.
Oh, exactly. And I'm not getting political, okay? I'm just saying it is what it is. But, no matter how tempting it might be, you should never join a riot. But you know what? Number one, urbansurvivalsite.com. If indeed you want to try to survive a riot, number one, try to blend in. Blend in with the rest of the non-violent bystanders, not the rioters.
Yeah, or the police. If you blend in like the policemen and stay behind a shield, you could do that. So
bring some tear gas and throw it at the crowd. But no, number one says blend in. It says here, it's human nature to target those who stand up from the crowd. So don't scream or throw bricks or position yourself away from others. Kind of like blend in. I would be behind the police. Where would you stand, Bob?
Oh, I'd be standing behind the police about 10 miles away.
The next town over.
The next town over.
Well, in a riot, Bob, there's 3 groups of people: the rioters, the police, and the non-violent bystanders. You want to do your best to blend in with the third group and avoid the attention of the first 2 while making your way to safety. So you might not ask, excuse me, are you a non-violent bystander? And if they are, do what they're doing. All right, Bob. Number 2, 8 tips how to survive a riot.
Driving carefully. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the problem. If they're blocking the
carefully
road,
through the crowd.
Yeah. If they're blocking you, though, I think in Florida you can run them over now. I'm not sure about Illinois.
I couldn't believe the governor. Well, we have a law that if they're blocking the street, you can just run them over.
So you better check the rules in the place you're protesting.
Yeah, well, it says here, if you're driving toward police officers, they may think you intend to use your vehicle as a weapon.
So you won't have to worry about running over anybody because they're going to be shooting the hell out of your car.
Can you think about going to the body shop after that, Bob? I mean, ugh.
But
I guess I would try to stay away from the area. I mean, I think you could tell like if they've taken over the intersection, how they do that now, the kid take over the intersection. They do the donuts and stuff and people are getting crazy.
Oh yeah.
Just make a U-turn and go away.
Just shop somewhere else.
Exactly. Number 3, 8 tips how to survive a riot, Bob. Move with the crowd until you can find an opportunity to escape.
Well, that's interesting. One of the worst things you can do in a riot, besides throwing bricks at the police and burning cars, is to try to swim upstream by going the opposite direction of the crowd. All right, so you're walking in the opposite direction. All right. Getting trampled, though, is one of the biggest concerns in a riot, and trying to force your way against the flow of people as they're stealing from the stores. Those people are usually running pretty fast.
Yeah, but if it's a big ticket item, they got to be, running kind of slow.
I'm telling you, if a guy's carrying, they couldn't steal TVs 20 years ago because TVs were as big as a refrigerator. Now they're like a sheets of plywood. You just take 2 or 3 of them.
And they're in a box with handles. I mean,
they're making it easier. But I dare somebody to take a TV
and run
from the 1970s.
Oh yeah, because they were and they were bulky, and plus all the weight was in the back. You remember, because all the guts, so they kind of lean as you picked it up. You kind of leaned forward because it was tipping down.
It took 3 guys to deliver the thing because you had the radio, the phonograph in there.
Oh, you remember
the TV?
You're talking about the old consoles.
Oh yeah,
remember that, the old consoles? Yeah, had the big felt on the sides. They covered the speakers.
Oh God, yeah, the cheap felt and the decorations and stuff.
Yeah, but it was wood. It was real wood, Bob.
Do you realize some of those TVs were bigger than our microwave ovens?
Oh, much bigger. My mom worked at Zenith. You remember Zenith
in Franklin Park?
She was Chicago, right off of Dickens. But the point is, remember the logo for the slogan for Zenith?
No,
the quality goes in before the name goes on.
Oh, right. Yeah. And they're lightning bolts.
Kind of like a Z lightning bolt. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so number 3, you definitely want to go with the crowd. You don't want to try to swim upstream. Number 4, avoid riot control weapons. Well, there's tear gas, water can, rubber bullets. I mean, don't those hurt? They gotta hurt.
Yep, they do. In fact,
are they just bigger or?
You know what? I think it's like a paintball. On steroids. It's got a little more kick to it than the paintball dart.
But if you get hit in the head, I bet it's got to hurt.
Oh, I think it's going to get your attention. I think one guy got hit in his privates.
Oops.
And he's missing a couple. And, I don't want to go into details.
He's missing a couple. How many did he have, Bob?
Very rare person. Yeah, they grow back.
Guy look like a bag of grapes. Or
he's an alien. They found him by mistake. So
oh goodness.
Another Russian scientific experiment.
He lost several, but he's okay.
They keep growing back.
Anyway,
see, they don't tell you. Scientific discoveries, they hide it. You see how you got to dig for the stories?
That's when mutants are rioting. Mutants have rioted downtown. They have multiple parts. Number 5, Bob, of the 8 tips how to survive a riot.
Well, let's see. Don't vote for Democrats.
That's number 9.
Don't be a hero. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. There's a reason the police deploy weapons that target everyone indiscriminately in a riot, such as tear gas. It's because targeting rioters individually, even if they are performing activities such as breaking into a store or assaulting someone, is deadly business. As difficult it might be to resist the urge to intervene in such situations, doing so likely won't help anything and may cost you your life. Oh, yeah.
So what would you do? You'd run in and try to throw the tear gas back or shield somebody? Or
I'm 5-10 miles away. I don't care. I'm like, I'll watch it on the news later. We'll see what happened.
So don't try to be a hero, Bob.
That's right.
Number 6, avoid getting pinned in.
Now, that's interesting because if you look at some of those looters that go in, and they're grabbing stuff and running out the door, the chances of getting pinned in that doorway are really good. You know,
I saw a clip actually earlier today. It wasn't a riot, but there was a heavy set man pounding on some guy's window. The guy spun his car around and knocked the guy down.
oh yeah,
Guy gets up and then he's on his hood, like he just keeps going and stops. And this guy had to be 300 pounds, flew like a bag of a sack of potatoes.
Potatoes,
Yeah, just
grapes,
because he was on there. He started. Wee! Look, I'm flying, Mom.
You know, there's got to be
goodness.
some wilder pictures
Oh, I'm
out
sure.
there that they're not showing on the evening news. So you got to probably dig in. What are the video sites? Rumble, Odyssey.
I just do YouTube. I don't.
YouTube.
Yeah.
No, there's others out there. Rumble and Odyssey are two other major video platforms. So
Yeah, I haven't heard of those.
Oh yeah, so,
Rumble, is that from like West Side Story?
I think so.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So avoid getting pinned in. I guess you want to stay away from tight spaces and buildings, right?
Right.
Number 7, Bob. Do number 7.
Get indoors right away. Well, get indoors. Who's indoors? You know,
Yeah.
so you're in a riot situation. You're not going to go knocking on doors.
Come on in, Bob. It's open.
Grandma, somebody's here.
Yeah.
And she's got a 45 under her knitting.
She's firing warning shots.
Yeah.
She's throwing tear gas.
Yeah.
She's got an M79.
Yeah, she's sitting there in her rocker chair knitting, and then occasionally pulls out her 45,
Yeah.
shoots a few people out the door.
But yeah, get indoors right away. Of course you want to get indoors, right? Why wouldn't you want to get indoors?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. You want to get indoors right away. Keep away from windows and exterior walls.
keep away from windows. Yeah, exterior
bricks,
walls out by there.
bullets, other projectiles.
You know.
Oh, now here, Bob, if possible, secure a weapon.
Well, look at this now. Who's recommending this? This isn't the government recommendation.
No, this is urbansurvivalsite.com.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Everybody, you don't have to buy one, but at least know how the things work,
Or a nice baseball bat.
or a big sword or something.
Yeah. I saw a thing today on YouTube, survivalists. Okay. It was one of the news stations, like Channel 7, Channel 2. And the woman did interviewing of people that had like the bunkers, the safe rooms. She wouldn't say who it was, but the client she said upper Midwest has a home. It's surrounded by a moat. Okay. There's also an underground path to the building. They can set the moat on fire at any time. And the underground pathway, they can flood with tear gas. He's got cannons on his property. So the guy's expecting like the end of the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's a compound. Now she had there was a drawing, but she wouldn't say where it was. But she interviewed different people that had like the safe rooms and with the people the doomsday. But I'm thinking, you have a moat around your house that you can set on fire. No one's gonna riot by your house.
And I'd be if you're a sleepwalker, you're screwed.
I mean, that's better than release the hounds, honey. Fire up the river.
Well, the guy that had the ultimate house defense was the last Rambo movie. Did you see that?
I watched it, but it was a while ago.
Well, the last half hour of the thing is the cartels attack.
Yeah. He's like in Mexico or something, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess in New Mexico or something.
Yeah.
The cartels come to get him, and he takes care of them. I think it's the last Rambo movie.
It could be. He made about what, 6 of those?
6, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but no, you want to learn some more possibilities with home defense.
Watch Rambo.
Yeah.
So this is Improv Leadership. Ted Schneider, Bob Slipke. We're talking about 8 tips how to survive a riot. Number 8, Bob.
Trust your gut and be prepared to improvise. Yeah, you just don't know. The best laid plans always get changed.
Well, and all riots are different, Bob. There's no one-size-fits-all solution to escaping. Like the LA riots in 1992 may be citywide and very violent.
Yeah.
In LA, they're not really, they're just protesting, right? It's not actually rioting right now.
Well, they're saying half the people out there are paid protesters anyway.
Yeah, and what's the difference, I guess, between a riot and a protest?
Right. It's like how violent, how much fire?
I think destruction.
Right.
Yeah, violence. Well, anyway, that's 8 tips how to survive a riot. Urbansurvivalsite.com. Again, Improv Leadership, Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider. We always take a station ID just in case people go, is it 98.3 FM The Life? I think it is.
Right behind you there. I check your eyes.
Yeah, 1 second.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Exactly. 98.3 FM. Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider on Improv Leadership. We're talking about 8 tips how to survive a riot. Bob, what's up next on our retro show here?
Well, I tell you what. this field sobriety test.
Okay.
I don't drink hardly anything anymore, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you're one of those youngsters out there testing your wings and experimenting with alcohol, you might want to pay attention to the following article.
All right, 10 reasons why people fail the field sobriety tests. And this is Kansas DUIattorney.com. So I'm assuming a private site. These guys a DUI defense lawyer and out in Kansas. So I guess he's got
a lot of farm boys out there.
yeah, it must be some biz, right? So number one, Bob, the test could be administered incorrectly. As a DUI defense lawyer, he's reviewed hundreds of police videos, and while the police are trained to administer these, we'll call them FST or field sobriety tests, they often do it incorrectly, which means it impacts the test results. Let's see here. If any one of the standardized field sobriety test elements is changed, the validity is compromised, Bob. So number one, yeah, the test could be administered. And is that maybe the blow test, you think? Or yeah,
I don't know. I never heard of that. The blow test. So
Yeah.
is that like would they still blowing into a tube or something?
yeah, or that little machine or something, isn't
or
it?
like a trombone, and they see how big the balloon is at the other end.
Can you play something from
Yeah.
Sousa?
Yeah. When the Saints come marching in, if you can't play that, you fail.
But
You're too drunk.
and then they get Tomcat trumpet out there. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So yeah. But if you're not Tomcat Trumpet, who's a great guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, how he's doing all right.
Yeah, I would assume, but maybe, isn't there like a little machine they make you blow in or something? I've never had to take it because,
I've never been pulled over for DUI. I've been
Okay.
pulled over for everything else.
yeah.
Flipping people off. road
Officer,
rage.
didn't you get stopped one time for not putting your directional on, changing lanes, leaving the station that day? I think you did.
No, I was pulled over because they wanted to congratulate me.
No,
for
and
a
the reason I know
successful show.
you got pulled over, Bob, I call is there's a guy in a white Kia.
Yeah.
He didn't use his directional.
He
He's
was
going down wrong.
looking at me very funny, and he's suspicious leaving the train station.
Anyway, 10 reasons why people fail the field sobriety test. Bob, what's the second one there?
Let's see here.
The first word
Now
is
this one, improper conditions. Now
I'm not
that's
sure there.
interesting because I saw a story where if you're measuring your blood pressure, you got to have your arm in a certain position. Otherwise, you're going to get goofy readings. So I
Yes.
think the same thing is here. You gotta have the right conditions, the right how should I say?
well, and this
you
says
know?
here the manual requires things like a straight line, not an imaginary line. So you have to actually have them. So here they're going to make you walk down the middle of the road on an expressway or what?
I wouldn't, if I was a policeman, I wouldn't be laying some rope on a road the way people drive today because you're going to get run over.
Right. So where do you find a straight line for them to walk the straight line? And plus, you ever try to walk a straight line?
I can't do that.
It's hard.
I
I
can't,
can't
do
do it
that
sober.
You want a guy my age walking a straight line? What's the matter with you,
I
sonny
had
boy?
I had the building commissioner out at the house yesterday, and I was doing my coach home, and I was trying to do the thing with the feet, to see how wide it was. You step in front, and I'm like,
Oh, you did that.
yeah. I'm like, my foot's about a foot. So, but my
Really?
point is just pointing your, doing foot in front of foot. You're kind of like on a balance beam.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So even that's kind of tough.
So you got 12-inch feet? Is that-
Well, at least, Bob. Yeah, I mean,
What?
I don't want to go into any details. But my feet are pretty big. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. 11 and a half quadruple E.
Does that measure out right? And when you get
Yeah.
a shoe size,
Yeah, it is.
it's for a 12-inch foot?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Oh no, I just do the 11 and a half 4E. Extra wide. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, improper conditions. Bob, what's number 3 of why people fail a sobriety test?
Well, here's a good one. Bad back.
Exactly.
If you have back problems, like Ted and all the rest of us as we get older,
And I play pickleball and aggravate it.
that's right. Performing these tests and exercises can be difficult under any circumstances.
Oh.
So what are you going to do? Jumping jacks or something and balance on
Or-
one foot?
I think they get light a hoop with gasoline and jump through the hoop.
Yeah, they bring up a circus truck and they bring out all this equipment. And they got us like dogs running through some field thing
Yeah.
there, right?
And next up, we're going to have you go through the flaming hoop.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a floor exercise, the flip-flops.
Then they have you ride the elephant.
Yeah, right. Jumping through the hoops.
Then you got to do the iron cross.
Yeah, right. You got to hold an iron cross for 10 minutes. Could you imagine? Your biceps would just explode. Your heart would go through your brain.
You'd see your arms like chicken wings. Just been in the microwave too long.
So what else are they going to test us at? Why don't you just, at a certain point, just give me a ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget the
But
test.
I could see bad back. Another reason people fail field sobriety tests is bad knees. If you have knee problems, it might be difficult to stand on one leg or walk and turn. Walk. Oh,
right? Walk and chew gum. I mean, there's people that can't do that.
What's the walk and turn test?
The walk and turn test. I bet you that's like you're walking in a straight line and you're like shopping at Walmart and you see something on sale. So you turn quickly, look at that, and you keep going in the direction you were going in. That's got to be what it is. So it's the Walmart test.
So he maybe has the whistle out, and you walk and you go. You got to turn quickly, snap your hip. Bob. Now here's 10 reasons why people fail. What's the next one, Bob?
Being overweight.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute.
If you're obese,
you got to be kidding me. According to the officer's training manual used in Kansas police training, being overweight, which could be anybody.
And 90% of the population.
Yeah, right. If they keep shoving sugar down our throats, you are not a candidate for field sobriety tests.
But you are a candidate for Jabba the Hutt.
That's right. Or medical experiments.
Yeah, or diabetes or high blood pressure. Think about that. If you're overweight, I think just getting out of the car would be a chore. I mean, seriously, right?
Seriously, think about that. If you got to pull up all the fat in front of you and put that out the car door first before your little legs come out. I mean, you lay the fat down on the road first. No, you kind of roll out.
And actually, the fat would be on the steering wheel. Setting off the airbag.
You just triggered the airbag.
Oh, goodness. But so if you're elderly, Bob, according to officers, if you're over 65, well, then
I got it.
So if you're over 65, you can drink. Right, and drive, right? Is that what they're saying?
Well, but still, if you're driving up a railroad tie or...
Did you see that thing the other day with the semi that got hit by the truck train?
In LaGrange?
It was out here in Illinois somewhere, yeah.
Western suburbs. It was in LaGrange.
Yeah. What was the semi doing?
Blocking a train? Let's see here. Yeah. No,
ding, 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 ding.
Did you see that it knocked down trees?
Oh, it just pushed it. It pushed it like it was like cardboard.
Yeah, and it pushed it in. The train pushed the truck into the train station.
Yes, exactly.
Knocked down lights.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so back to 10 reasons why people failed. Well, just real quick, this is Improv Leadership. For those that just joining, like these two guys are rambling on. 98.3 FM Life. Bob Slickby, Ted Schneider, Improv Leadership. We're talking about 10 reasons people failed the sobriety test. What's after elderly, Bob?
Well, I just want to say we're sharing ideas about some of the things we find. Don't do this at home.
Correct. Right.
So, yeah, part of the thing is there's so much out there. And a lot of the information sources out there are just focused on certain things. Ted and I, we're looking for all the other stuff out there because it's not all doom and gloom and it's all not fear and paranoia. There's some good things happening and some weird things happening, and we're exploring the weird things. So nervousness, the stakes are high. Yeah. It's like testing at school.
Right. ACT, SAT.
Everybody knows their stuff, but when it comes to taking a test,
your driver's test,
your test anxiety.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I could see that.
Now, if it was multiple choice, you have a shot, right?
Right.
So I'd say, can I do the multiple choice one versus fill in the blank? The tests are confusing. Officers have been through these tests 100 times, but you know what? Your DUI lawyer has been over these tests even more. In fact, as a DUI defense attorney, he's had more training than most police officers. Interesting.
But the typical DUI suspect is not familiar with these tests, which are confusing and ambiguous. So, how do you, even if a person who drinks heavily,
yes, and is not obese, which means the body weight to the alcohol consumption.
But if he's used to being at a certain inebriated level, how do you know he's impaired driving?
Well, that's what it says here. It says the tests have nothing to do with your ability to drive.
Right. You could
under the best circumstances, you can walk and turn results.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. If you drink constantly, if you're drinking a 12-pack and then going out drinking, your ability to handle liquor is pretty good.
But I wonder what weed does in particular, being high versus stoned or drunk.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think what's more dangerous is people looking at their phones while they drive.
Oh my God!
I would feel safer with a drunk driver. At least
Not looking at his phone.
Yeah, he's looking out at the road and doing stupid things.
Interesting you say it, Bob. On the way here, it must have been changed lanes quickly without notification day. There must have been 6 people that changed lanes. I mean, we went over 2 or 3 lanes. There was 2 Audis. So for the guys on the tollway driving here, going north, one Audi, he was in the 3rd lane, cut in front of me in the 2nd lane, went to the third, the fast lane, just kept going in and out and out. And the other Audi basically squeezed in between 2 cars in 2 lanes to his right to get off. And I was like, really? 2 black Audis. I thought they were together, but obviously one pulled off and one kept going.
No matter how important you think you are, it ain't worth a few inches of road or a few seconds of time to get banged up bad.
Oh yeah, or take the next exit.
Yeah,
I've seen people backing up on the tollway.
Oh my God! Tell you what, I think everybody once in a while should see one of those car accident movies we saw in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the one that scared everybody? Death on the Autobahn or something? Show.
I think it was Death on the Kennedy, but
I mean, it was like
that was Death of Kennedy. That was a different movie. You're right. But the point is, I mean, seriously. I mean, and cars crumple pretty. They look, some of these cars are, or I love the one car accident that hits the tree. The tree's minding their business. And you got to,
just standing there.
Yep. And all of a sudden, bam.
But yeah, I mean, it ain't worth it. I worked in a hospital when I was going to college, and I'd see accident victims coming in. I think that's one of the reasons I started slowing down.
You got pictures on your phone, Bob? Or?
No, they didn't have those things at that time.
Oh, okay.
So this is back in the 70s. So we're all standing there going, why are these people in such a hurry?
Well, when you see a car flipped over in a 35-mile-an-hour road, it's like, what were you doing?
Right.
Did you fall from the...
Yeah. So no matter how important you think you are, it ain't worth it.
Well, folks, that was 10 reasons why people fail the field sobriety test, according to Kansas DUIattorney.com. Well, folks, Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, we're on the Improv Leadership Show, 98.3 FM The Life. If you're not familiar with 98.3 FM The Life, we've been here like 16 years now, I believe it is, right? Or is it more than that? At least.
And it's a unique thing. I've been all over the country in different areas. And I'll be honest with you, I think we're leading the pack on what's being done here with this.
My goodness.
This format.
Yeah, the programming grid that we've got in terms of the variety, incredible. We are definitely the most unique
I think people are watching us.
Yeah, the depth we have in terms of our programming is incredible. Yeah, 98.3 FM The Life. We're on Twitter, or not Twitter. We're on Twitch. I knew it was a Twitter thing, but anyway, we're gonna do a station break in a couple of seconds here. But in general, 98.3 FM The Life. Again, check out our programming grid, and you'll be surprised at the variety of programming. Well, again, 98.3 FM Improv Leadership. The next thing up, we're going to talk about how to win a duel. mentalfloss.com. We're going to take a station ID in about 2 more minutes, but yeah, how to win a duel. So, you've been challenged to a duel. Don't worry. You're in good company. Anybody has dueled once or twice, like Andrew Jackson or Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was in a duel.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, it says here. Yeah. For duels were the ideal. I apparently. Well, duels were the ideal way to defend your honor after an insult. But the present day,
sue everybody.
Yeah, shooting a rival is considered a terrible form, which is why instead of being the deadliest man in your duel, you should work on being the cleverest. So the last thing you want to do is actually fight a duel. So you fight a duel. So use your brain to get out of the situation with your honor intact. Bob, number 1, how to win a duel. Mentalfloss.com.
Interesting. Mind your manners. I'll tell you what, with everybody losing their manners these days, maybe we should have a few duels between these politicians. Just go outside and shoot each other,
Yep.
I mean, instead of yelling at each other in these committee meetings. Anyways, one of the reasons dueling remained popular late into the 19th century, I think it should come back, was because people believed it made society more civilized.
Sure.
The 1937 manual, The Art of Dueling, argues that the risk of a duel made everyone act nicer.
Can you imagine if you got to settle things with a duel? Handguns, swords, 10 paces.
You know, the great gentleness and complacency of modern manners must be ascribed in some degree to this absurd custom. Of course, another way to act nicer is not to shoot people over arguments.
Hey, there's a concept.
Think about that.
Hey, improv leadership. This is Bob Slipke,
Wow.
Ted Schnetter. We're going to take a station ID, some public service announcements, and we'll be back in about, say 2 minutes. So don't go away. Take a listen to this.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Illinois.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hey, cats and kittens. Join me, Gray Dolan, Sunday mornings at 11 for Mood Swings with Gray Dolan. Each week we'll visit a different genre, style, and mood of music here on The Life 98.3.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach,
Illinois. That's right. 98.3 FM The Life. Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider on Improv Leadership, special 2-hour show on 98.3 FM The Life. We're going over some articles. This is our retro show. Bob and I did this for many years, right, Bob? I mean,
Oh my God, that goes way back.
yeah, before you got a job, you're and homeless, and you lived at
the street there.
Yeah, lived at the radio station. But so we were talking about how to win a duel. Mentalfloss.com. Mind your manners, right, was the first thing. And think about it, Bob. Civility is out the door today. People are rude and ignorant, right?
There's just a certain group of people that just think they know better than everybody else, and you can't argue with them. So,
and if you knew that someone could challenge you legally to a duel,
I wonder if it would everybody would calm down a little.
Or there'd be a lot of duels going on.
Yeah, really watch yourself. Have a dueling park somewhere around here.
You have the dog park, you've got the kiddie pool, and you've got the dueling pool. But don't say no here, Bob. If challenged to a duel, Bob, accept it.
Yeah, what the hell?
Refusal will stain your reputation. Now, Bob, you don't want your reputation stained, do you?
Oh, my God. I'm so worried about my reputation.
According to dueling etiquette, the challenger is entitled to walk to the nearest newspaper and print an article accusing you of cowardice. For politicians, bad press like that was career suicide.
I don't know. You can probably get away with anything now.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Yeah. So what's number 3, Bob?
Wow. Get caught up in the rules. Okay, so you've accepted the duel. All right, here we go. The key now is to get out of this pickle without getting injured or hurting your rival. What? I'm challenged to a duel. I'm going to blow the guy's brains out.
I'm bringing 2 guns and have my friend on the roof.
I'm going to shoot him so many times before he hits the ground.
Yeah, because you do the 10 pace thing and 8, you turn around. Oops, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not buying this one. So let's
And
see.
how would you
here.
trust a person, Bob? If it was walk 10 paces and turn around, how would you?
Yeah.
Right? You're like, one,
10 paces, he's
2.
right behind you. They didn't tell him go 10 paces in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
So he's right behind your back. And he's about to blow your brains out.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, the most popular dueling rule book, there we go, Code Duello, was written in 1777, and its 25 rules were meant to be complex. Follow them, and you and your challenger may become so bogged down discussing logistics that cooler heads may prevail. I don't think so. I think once they might shoot each other over the rules.
Yeah.
That's exactly why the code was written, to decrease injuries and increase the chances for apologies.
Sure.
No, I bring a howitzer.
Yeah. A rocket launcher. Drone.
A drone. Yeah.
Did you see how many planes Israel sent to bomb Iran? You know how many bombers? Guess. How many fighters?
Oh my God, probably 100 at least.
200 planes they sent.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Israel had 200 planes.
Oh my God, they got the best of everything. But here's the real thing that's going on is these trucks that go into the countries
with the drones.
And they're drone platforms.
Yes.
So at a certain point, the trailer opens
Release
up
the hounds.
And they fly off to their targets. Oh my God. So what's the sense
like
of
Ukraine did to Russia?
Yeah. So what's the sense of having some Star Wars defense system if you can sneak in these flying bombs?
Right. And they're cheap. That's what they said when the Ukraine attacked Russia, they caused billions worth of dollars of damage. And they use drones that were a couple $100 a piece.
Right. Drones with something a little stronger than a standard hand grenade. Oh
yeah, they were M60s, I think, Bob.
Advanced stuff. Yeah. So,
okay.
But anyways,
back to how to win a duel.
All right. So choose your weapon. Drones, I would prefer at this point.
Or a backup. A drone is a backup.
Yeah.
Because you know what you do, Bob? You've got your phone in your hand and the drone is flying over so you can see if he's cheating or not. If he's still walking, 7, 8, 9, right?
The other thing was, I don't know if they come up in this article here, but you could always have somebody come in as your representative.
Well, that's number 4.
Is
Bob.
that coming up?
Order seconds. We're not talking
go.
smorgasbord. After a challenge, ask your most obsessive compulsive friend to be your second. They act as a witness and a part-time referee. Now, a referee, what? Hey guys, break it up, break it up.
It's the second's job to diffuse the situation. Like hell, sweet talking both sides into apologizing. I don't think so.
So here, when author James Laird challenged the author to a duel, Mark Twain's second, Steve Gillis, took the author out target shooting. Twain was an awful shot, so before the duel, a quick-thinking Gillis grabbed a chicken and blasted its head off. When Twain's challenger saw the bird, Gillis convinced him that Twain did it. It scared Laird so much he called off the duel. I didn't know that Mark Twain was ever...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, or you blow someone's head off of your neighbor. Right?
Well, there you go. Look what you did to him. I mean,
and he was a friend of mine. But order seconds. I'm thinking it's like smorgasbord.
Well, that's interesting.
So you want a partner, right?
Well, yeah.
They're going to keep the other guy honest. Maybe throw you a grenade or something.
Well, you know what? The seconds should have their own guns. So if one side or another is cheating, like walking 10 paces right behind you.
Yeah.
The second should shoot the guy right there.
Yeah. Or they do 8 and they turn around and start firing.
You know? I can't count. Yeah. Make sure whoever you challenge to a duel is not an idiot.
You practice. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bang. Nah, not going to happen.
Yeah. Too many variables there, Bob. Number 5.
Choose your weapons.
There
we
you
just
go.
talked about. There's a big advantage of being the one who gets challenged. You get to pick the weapon. All right. So if you're going to pick a fight with me, I'm going to decide the weapon. I want a battleship.
Oh, Bob, you'd use like a whip, wouldn't you?
You're allowed to pick anything, so choose wisely. In 1860, German statesman Otto von Bismarck challenged Dr. Rudolf Virchow to a duel. Weighing his options, Virchow supposedly skipped the rapier and pistol and chose to arm himself with sausage. He challenged Bismarck to eat 2 pork sausages, and Bismarck was fat, I think, at the time, so he might have died of a heart attack. Anyways, one was infected with roundworm Trinecula. Bismarck bowed out.
I thought you were going to beat each other with sausages.
Yeah.
It's like, I like to take a salami.
That's an interesting idea. Sausages. And one's poison.
Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah, pick your spots, Bob. Now, this again is How to Win a Duel at mentalfloss.com. This is Improv Leadership, Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, 98.3 FM Life. Pick your spots. As challenge, you get the location. So when James
the challenger
Shields
gets a lot of benefits here.
Well, yeah, it says here James Shields challenged Abraham Lincoln in 1842. Abe decided to host a duel in a pit near the Mississippi River. Lincoln divided the pit with a board and declared that neither man could cross it. Dueling with broadswords, Shields realized that lanky Lincoln had a longer reach. The two quickly made peace.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine a duel? Well, how's a duel with a sword? This is a sword fight, isn't it?
But those broadswords, broadswords? Yeah, those things are big.
I mean, like the swashbuckling things?
No, those are the smaller swords. These are like huge.
Really?
Things.
Are they wide or?
They're wide and big and heavy. And if you're lucky, you can swing that. Tell you what, if you want to see what a broadsword looks like, go out to Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
There's a swordsmith out. Yeah, there's a swordsmith out there.
Ting.
And they make some great stuff. But you want to see the difference between all the swords? That's the place to do it.
All right. Well, anyway, that's How to Win a Duel. Mentalfloss.com. Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, Improv Leadership, 98.3 FM Life. This is our retro show. We're going over some articles that we actually did years ago. And guess what, Bob? They're still pertinent.
They really are.
Yeah.
I think the dueling thing is a great idea.
I love that idea.
I think
imagine you go to court and Judge Judy says, you both would have to do a duel to figure this out.
But the challenger
gets all the perks.
All the perks. I mean,
location, weapon, whether or not you want to do it. Yeah, I mean, think about it, right?
That's an interesting thing.
Well, Bob, what's next?
All right, let's see. You got here. This is stuff we talked about years ago, so it's kind of like.
Do you remember, Bob?
But it is amazing how some of this stuff still is pertinent.
Exactly.
We talked about this 10, 15 years ago. I mean, let's see. 7 life-saving tips to help you survive a fall from extreme height. Now, as you get older, you don't want to be doing things on a ladder. I don't care.
And that's an extreme fall.
Yeah. 2 steps for a guy my age. That's dangerous. So, but when most of us imagine falling, we think about tripping on the sidewalk, slipping on a wet floor, falling off a chair, or heavy rugs on floors, trip hazards.
Yeah, they bunch up when you walk. You don't pick your feet up.
Right. Now, let's see. If we think about falls that are fatal, we typically imagine people falling off cliffs, slipping off the roof of a house, or having a parachute fail to open during a skydiving adventure. Now, those are the people that you see on like YouTube and all these other things. People doing stupid things.
Yeah.
They
jump off the roof to get into the pool and they miss.
Yeah, in the pool, the walls explode.
As they smack the wall with their belly. Oh.
Or somebody up on a ladder trying to clean the gutter.
And they're leaning.
They're reaching too far. And the aluminum cheap-ass ladder snaps in half. So they're hanging by their hands on the gutter.
All right. So, So what's the number one tip, Bob, for 7 life-saving tips to help you survive a fall from extreme height? This is littlethings.com. And what's the author's name?
Little Things. No, Eleni Polias Bronet.
Bronet. She's French. Bronet.
All right,
tip number 1.
What's the tip number 1? Don't panic. Don't
panic.
Yeah, you're on 2 steps going for coffee on the upper cabinet.
No, you get pushed off a 21-story building. Don't panic. Take it easy. Just
cool. Relax. Everything will be over in a few minutes.
Seconds. As you hurtle toward the earth.
Still, it's important to remember that many falls from high up aren't actually a straight drop down. Yeah, you bounce off the building. You hit a ledge,
a sign, a car.
You fall on somebody that's on a lounge chair on their balcony. bounce off of that.
Oh, that's right. Think about it. Falling off a balcony, a building with balconies. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, the traffic helicopter comes through. You hit the blades there. You don't have to worry about hitting the ground at that point.
That's true. If you fell off a building, don't panic. It won't be a straight shot. Yeah, you're gonna bounce like a pinball ball.
What are you worried
Your
about?
arm gets crushed off. No.
So don't worry.
When you fall off something high, the best thing you do is try to keep your breathing even and your body under control. Yeah. As you're flying down at 70 miles an hour.
Ground's coming up like a freight train. Watch your breathing.
Yeah. Should I hit the concrete, the pedestrian, or that car?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
people are printing this stuff out. Think about this.
Well, it says that it sounds crazy, but you can use your advantage if you keep a cool head. On the flip side, panicking in a treacherous situation can lock your muscles. Oh, you want your muscles locked?
Oh, that's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, if you hit the ground with locked muscles, you probably tear them.
Yeah, yes, they're putting all your parts together in a bag. Oh, look, this muscle's kind of tight.
He must have tensed up.
Why compare it to his legs? They're over there.
No, one's on the balcony still.
Can you throw that down? Help us out. All
Use
right.
a glove. This leg comes. Okay, so
I'm reporting you to the homeowners association.
You made a mess in my balcony. Who's going to clean this up? And what's all these worms up here? Those are intestines.
Can you imagine going to the homeowners association? Some old battle axe complaining about
Karen
people jumping off the building and wrecked her deck. Oh my God!
Well, folks, this is Improv Leadership. Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, 98.3 I'm the Life. We're talking about just retro articles. This one is about how to survive a fall. But 1 second, we always
From
do
extreme heights.
Yeah, we do a station ID. 1 second.
WRLR 98.3 FM LP, Round Lake Beach, Illinois.
Okay.
All right. Now, this one here, tip number 2 is protect your head, right?
Right.
The only reason they want you to protect your head is so they can identify you, because there won't be anything left.
Yeah. They can open your phone with your head.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So these are real quick. This is 7 life-saving tips to help you survive a fall from extreme height.
You ain't saving your life. This is just.
That's like zip lining, Bob. They give you a helmet, zip lining.
Oh, yeah, like that helps.
So, okay, if I hit I'm going to fall and bounce on my head and that's going to save me?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You're going to hit so many trees on the way down. You'll be like your torso will look like a bullet.
Oh my God. You'll have so many branches poking out of your limbs.
But Bob, the best way to cover your head is to place your arms on the side of your head, point your elbows forward, and lace your fingers behind or on top of your head. As you're relaxing, as you're flying down 20 stories.
That's so they can pick you up and throw you in the meat wagon easier. They want to have your arms stiff and tight so they can throw a stick through there and kind of haul you up like beef. Throw you in the wagon.
Yeah, exactly.
Relax your body.
Number 3.
Great stuff. You're going to survive.
Many people think the best way to fall is to fight the motion, Bob, but that's not true.
Oh my God, really?
What do you got to do, Bob?
When falling, it's much safer to relax your body. The impact will injure you less if more of your body can take the hit.
So you spread out or what?
I guess.
Put your arms and legs out?
To be sure that your body isn't stiff, soften or even bend your arms and legs when you fall. They're going to get bent in a few minutes anyways. You don't have to worry about that. Just don't fight the direction they're going in, even though they're going in opposite direction.
I would think you'd be like a bag of potatoes.
Or
like a bird that just got shot down.
Yeah, here, bend number 4, bend your knees.
Right before you land.
Yeah. Drop, tuck, and roll. You're falling from 2,000 feet.
Yeah, and you're going 120 miles an hour. You think you're in a Mission Impossible and you're next to Tom Cruise. You probably can't breathe, Bob. If you fell off a building, the air rushing through you, wouldn't it almost suffocate you?
How
would you breathe?
How would you breathe? I can't believe because I'd be screaming too loud. I wouldn't be worried about my breathing.
Yeah. Oh, and you want to scream. So it's like kind of a heads up for people as they're walking by. You, and look up and bam. But so what's with bend your knees, Bob?
So
what's that all about?
Let's say here. Meanwhile, if it looks like you're going to land on your feet, keep your knees bent will help absorb the impact of the fall.
Yeah, you snap your legs.
Your kneecaps will be poking through your shoulders. You're gonna look like a midget. You survive, but you're only gonna be 2 feet tall the rest of your life.
You're gonna look like a chicken wing, and so they just pulled apart.
Try to land on your feet, but don't stay on them.
Oh yeah, so bounce.
Yeah, bounce.
So you're getting close to the ground, and you're. Let's keep this in mind, Bob. Okay, so here I'll do the sound effects, and you go through the list of what you got to do. Okay, ready?
All right. So tuck, roll, and scream. Oh my God!
But yeah, try to land on your feet, but don't stay on them. So what, like lay down right away?
Yeah,
or what?
Tuck and roll. I guess so.
I tried that off my roof one time in the snow, Bob, and it didn't work. That's why I think I hurt any of my disc.
Yeah.
We took a picture. I jumped off the roof, and I thought I could hit the snow and roll. You know what I did? I just hit the ground, and the rest of my body just kept going.
Yeah,
that's how I think I messed up that disc.
But
oh goodness,
all this stuff. First of all, avoid being on a ladder.
Or on the top of a 20-story building.
Or have support at the bottom of the ladder. That's common sense.
But not your wife, Bob, because that could be like...
That's attempted murder.
Yeah. So real quick, improv leadership, Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, 7 life-saving tips to help you survive a fall from extreme height. We got about 5 minutes, Bob, before we transition. Let's keep going, though. So try to land on your feet, but don't stay on them. Make sure you keep your feet and legs together so they hit the ground at the same time. Well, wouldn't you want like maybe...
Would you want to spread it out just a little?
Yeah. Just, bam.
I mean,
that way your damage isn't as bad on both. Because I would think the first leg coming down would take the most impact.
I'm trying to picture the X-rays at the hospital when they bring you in.
Bob, wait, you come down and just land on one leg, so that one's gone. You'd be like a pirate, peg leg.
All right, so you know what? It would be advantageous then to land on one leg.
Right.
You're going to lose that and save the other one.
Exactly.
So bring the leg that you want to save up by your head, and
like a gymnast.
Yeah,
you do like your yoga thing.
Yeah, or a ballerina.
And you put the one leg up, and then you hit the ground like a spear.
Yeah, that would work. Okay.
No, number 6, Bob.
Try to fall to the side. So the New York Times. Oh, there's. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Falling straight forward or backward raises the risk of damaging your spine and vital organs.
Oh, you wouldn't want to damage your spine.
No, God, no. But many people try to fight the fall if they feel themselves going down. But it's actually much better to go with the fall and roll with it. Falling to the side is a method employed by both paratroopers and martial artists.
Whoa.
Who are experts at falling.
That's true. Did you ever see the parachuters? They land and they go to the side.
And think about those guys if they're paratroopers.
But they have parachutes. They're not jumping out of planes.
But they're still landing with 40 pounds of
gear and
So their ankles and knees and hips probably got to take a
martial artists jump out of planes too. I don't get that one. Or maybe they mean like you get hit if you're punching.
The way they take hits, and knocked around. So finally, once you're on the ground, get medical help. If you're dead,
maybe you have one of those I fall and I can't get up things on you.
Push those buttons.
Well, actually, your Apple Watch can detect a fall.
Really?
If it's still intact when you hit that ground, it would summon emergency services for you, Bob. Wait. Once you hit the ground, get medical help. You may think you're completely fine. Yeah, because it's your head sitting there. The rest of your body is gone.
Right? And here's what's going to happen. You're on the ground. You're going to call for medical help. They're going to get you to an answer tree. They're going to ask you,
sir, what's the nature of your emergency?
Are you bleeding? Are you?
I think I lost everything. My arms, my legs.
I think I fell.
Yeah.
And I am all in pieces.
But often, Bob, adrenaline cancels out your reaction to pain. So think about it. You fall off a building. If adrenaline really pumps in, you might be just get up and go, that was nothing.
Maybe that's Superman's secret.
But anyway, Bob, so sometimes you have to realize that if you do fall off a building, you fall off the roof, you fall off something from a very, very high altitude. you want to make sure that adrenaline hasn't kicked in. So you want to check your body out. Are your legs still there? Are your arms still there? Do your hands
Did you land
still
on somebody?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, that was 7 tips to survive a fall from a very high altitude. But, folks, this is Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, 98.3 FM Live. This is Improv Leadership. We're going to take a, let's see,
transition.
Yeah,
Switch.
we're transition to, what's the show, Bobby, you do again?
It's the #1 show on the radio station.
It is.
Improv Explorers. Oh, my God. Info Explorers.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
It's the #1 shot. It's the #1 show on the radio at 7 o'clock on Tuesday
nights.
Actually,
That's right.
it's the only show on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Well, folks, again,
all right, we'll
Improv
be right
Leadership,
back.
Bob Slipke, Ted Schneider, 98.3 FM Life. We'll be back after this. Actually, it's actually kind of like automation, but hope you like the first half. Stick around for the second half. We got more to come.
Shadow dancing.